Hi, Michelle. I'm sorry about that video. Honestly, I don't know what happened. I think I probably changed something in the settings somewhere because as I went back and reopened this PowerPoint, I couldn't even hear the video myself, which I was able to do yesterday, even though my wife couldn't. So I don't know. So I'm just going to try to do a recording this way, and hopefully it comes through. Okay. So you saw all of these old concepts I wanted to hold close: softness, osmosis, community, attention to adults' comfort, simplicity of design, and kind of a serene color palette. It was interesting with the colors. I repainted the indoor section maybe 4 times. I really wanted to go lighter because I didn't think it was quite as important in this design as it was with my original to do like a deeper moody color palette for the sense of calm and quiet. I wanted it to be a little bit more vibrant, but I think that I went too vibrant perhaps, and played with it a lot, which was really fun, but definitely wanted to get the vibe right, and so I ended up with a color similar to that deep purple that it had been before. New concepts I wanted to illustrate. I chose relational space, multisensoriality, narration, and constructiveness. You can see in a few photos here, and maybe I'll just go into it deeper during the little tour. I designed this space more for younger toddlers. I just wanted to teachers and families, of course. Okay, so here with the video, I kept the same structure, as you probably noticed, as my original design. The round space itself, half indoor, half outdoor. Over here is the outdoor space. I kept the stream. That was a little bit of a harder decision, but I felt like in the end that it was really appropriate and contributed to the softness and the exploration and everything like that. I painted a little picture and put it on the fence there, like a little outdoor art area, and I hung it low to the ground. There around the base of the tree, it's actually a baby toy, but my idea here was that it could be kind of like a structure, like a climbing structure around the base of the tree, kind of another way of integrating indoor-outdoor arrangements to explore. There's a little mirror over there behind the tree, and then to the left, a little rock climbing structure, just for, gross motor movements and things like that. And then a little table right there with some loose parts right at the center. My idea for the table, because I wanted adults to feel comfortable and relaxed and welcomed by the space, I really thought hard about making like one taller table, one shorter table, and I didn't end up doing that. I kind of had this idea. I have like a desk at home that I'm actually sitting at right now, and you can kind of like you can move it up or down with like this crank, and it takes a while, but I really enjoy it, and I didn't want to sacrifice one of the tables because I wanted there to be spaces indoor and outdoors for everybody to sit. But I did want these tables to be, kind of manipulatable in that they could be raised for adults' comfort and lowered for children's comfort. Okay, so I'm actually gonna go back a little bit. I got off track. There are the tables. Okay, over here there's this little reading, relaxing, playing space. Another way that adults are acknowledged in the space is by these like bigger, comfy reading chairs. There's a little rug underneath, and in the bookshelf you can see there's books and loose parts and, just a really simple structure there with a little lamp on top. over to the right, in between two of the floor-to-ceiling windows, there's another little space with a mirror really low to the ground for young toddlers to either crawl or walk around to see themselves playing in the space. Again, there's the table. So I just quickly want to go over the new concepts. I chose some quotes from Children's Spaces Relations. Related to relational space, I wanted to focus on the different ways in which the space is used and the connections between things. So between the furniture and the people, between the people and the outdoors, and just kind of creating a web of, really rich and strong opportunities to explore things. That kind of fits in really well with multisensoriality, the space influenced by shape, organization, color, light, and touch. I feel like I put a lot of thought into these things in my first design, and those kind of came through in this one as well, with just the, serene color palette, nothing too bright, but some touches of vibrancy for sure, especially in the outside. And I think that came across really well. There's definitely not a lack of exploration in this space, despite its simplicity. And I really tried to integrate gross and fine motor movement activities, the larger ones being outside with the little rock climbing wall and the climbing structure around the base of the tree, as well as the loose parts you can see on this table, that's right here to the right, and then in the bookshelf as well. Let's see, what were the other ones? Constructiveness, a workshop for research and experimentation. I think that kind of shines through as well in what I was just talking about. And then narration, visibility and transparency of the children's processes, capacity of the space to narrate the choices and references. I think that the mirrors really touch on this, being at toddler height, and the artwork too being at toddler height. I think that having access to watch themselves, either, directly, or having mirrors around where they can catch glimpses of themselves playing in the space, I think that spoke to transparency and narration, and children seeing themselves as represented in the space and deeply considered in the space by making things at their height and accessible to them, in a way where they can literally watch themselves as they learn. We talked about aspects I kept from the old design. I wanted to mention something that I talked about in my original video was some inspiration. I wanted to acknowledge that I took inspiration from Amber's outdoor rock wall formation from week 5 that was kind of in the design that Amber created. I liked this and really wanted to use it in my space as well. Another one was Heather's indoor atrium ideas, and let me move forward. I should have been doing that. Okay, see in the picture on the left here, this was kind of a combination between Heather's kind of like indoor atrium, biophilic, bioregionalism ideas, which I was really inspired by. Oops. Oh no. I don't know what I did there. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so that was inspired in part by Heather and also in part by, let's see, Leah, who asked what the climate of the space in my original design would look like. What the space would look like in a completely different climate. So like severe weather situations like snow and intense heat and different things like that, while still being mindful of, your use of water and other resources. And so my idea here, it didn't really work out, which is why it wasn't in the video tour part, was to create a space within the outdoor natural space, or even it could go indoors, of just a different kind of environment. I really felt like this would be an opportunity for learning and for, just like, I'm so sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. Just providing another perspective, another opportunity, an opportunity to think about how, not everyone lives in the natural climate that you might live in and experience on the day-to-day. So that was inspired by them. I thought a lot about both Leah and Gretchen's question about how the space, specifically like the circular formation, would actually work. And my thought was kind of around like a circus tent or a yurt situation where it only covered the indoor half and kind of came up to a point in the middle. I liked this idea because it kept the outdoor space completely open and in nature without being covered, but it provided some protection for the indoor space on the left-hand side. And I don't know, like logistically, I don't know if maybe like some really intense, transparent curtains might work, or if there could be like a sliding glass doors situation or like a glass garage door type mechanism. I don't really have any specific ideas, but felt like it was important enough to keep this space in this shape. I really felt like it contributed to the community feel, the softness, and just simply being able to like see yourself in a space and see everyone else in the space as well without any rigid corners. Let's see. On the right hand picture, I kind of toyed with the idea of like placing rocks in the stream to create like less of a flowing water situation and more of like a, shallower textured type of stream situation, which might be a little bit more appropriate for toddlers who can move around and that sort of thing. Yeah, I think that's about it. I'm looking at my notes. I talked about inspiration, previous design. I think that, the last thing I just want to mention is a couple wishes that I had. It's interesting working in this space and having access to these little like pieces of doll furniture, which turned out amazing, like the chairs and the bookshelf, and in my previous design there was the kitchen and the closet and things like that. And I do wish that I maybe would have not used those things because I might have been able to create more of what I wanted. So like in this space, for example, I feel like it would be incredibly important to keep that kitchen space, the closet space. Realistically, all of those things would be needed in this space, but for the sake of like highlighting different concepts and ideas in a different age group, just for the sake of the assignment, I felt like it was important that I, like put different things in here just to highlight those different aspects. And the same goes for the garden. I think that I would, if I were to do this again, I would put the garden back right there where the rock wall is, like it was in my previous design. For the adults, like it was in the previous design, but even more so for the toddlers, just to explore that space and as they start, eating and learning about their bodies and, different things like that. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you so much for the opportunity to recreate